The cat, protagonist of many stories in the world, revered in ancient Egypt and rejected in the Middle Ages to the point of being burned at the stake. They have been domesticated over time. It is said that they were brought to America by Christopher Columbus as a means to eradicate rats on ships while overseas on his great adventure. Cats. Today, the cat is loved by many people. They are considered the ideal pet. Independence, cleanliness, and affection are some of the qualities that have led them to earn that name, and to be considered the perfect companion for many people in the world. Let's get to know about the qualities of cats and about some of their breeds. Mandela arrived in this house when he was 1 year old. He arrived in May of 2012, and by then he was over a year old. But the story of Mandela is that of a lady in a pet store who wanted a Persian cat. But when she saw that the kitten was black, she hesitated. She wanted a different colored kitten. Then finally, she never could sell the cat, and he grew up in the pet store, and he lived there for his first year. During the night, he was in a cage, and during the day, he was loose in the store. By then, he had become a very sociable cat, and he let everyone pet him. Everyone approached him, and I worked at the pet store and fell in love with him. Huma's breed is Sphinx. They're famous because they have no hair. When I tell someone that, they react with shock. Oh, those ugly hairless cats. The decision was more for my son's dad, who is asthmatic. So he told me it was okay to have a pet that is a hairless cat. For me, it doesn't affect me, so I was reluctant at first. Me, no, because I thought the same. Those cats are ugly. How dreadful. But finally, he surprised me with her on my birthday. And I saw her, and I absolutely fell in love, and I realized that it is a supremely beautiful breed, affectionate, quiet, and if I could have a lot of cats, they all would be Sphinx. Cats have a sensory capacity from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. They are innate hunters, fairly intuitive. They are always alert, listening, watching for every movement of any possible prey. After capturing it, they play with it for a while, and in some cases they eat it, which makes wild cats more prone to diseases, since domestic cats rarely consume the prey they hunt. Their tail serves to steer when there are steep falls. It helps them to fall comfortably and, as is well known, to land on their feet. From all of this originates the myth that cats have 9 lives, which is not true. Their ability to get out of most trouble has earned them this reputation.
Here we have 2 breeds that are the most representative because of their large size. We have the Maine Coon breed that are arboreal and amber colored and large in size, although it is noteworthy that the females do not grow as much as the males. The males come to grow to twice the size that you can see in these 2 examples. You can notice also a very long and abundant tail. That is also one of its features. Their paws are covered in tufts of hair, which make it difficult to discern their true size. They are medium-sized, but very disproportionate to the body because it is a big cat. Their hind legs are fairly high. They have semi-long hair, but very abundant. It is a breed native to the United States. People used to think it was the result of a cross between a raccoon and a domestic cat, but that's not the case. It is a gigantic cat, It has some behaviors like a puppy. They are very friendly, very family-oriented, and have a particular sound different from other cats. Also in the ears, wide and sharp-pointed ears. But the most interesting part is hair tufts covering his ear, same as their paws, since another feature of the breed is that they drink water with their paws. So that is why you should not cut the strands of hair that they have that allow them to drink water more abundantly by soaking their paws.
Cats. The average lifespan of a domesticated cat ranges between 15 and 20 years. But there are reports of cats that have lived to the age of 28. That depends on the care they have been given. Good food, affection, and regular visits to the veterinarian are key. On the other hand, wild cats live fewer years, between 8 and 10 years, since they are more exposed to dangers of the outside world, foraging and hunting prey that are often diseased or contaminated, and this can affect the health of the animal.
The breed that you can see over there is the Cornish Rex. It is a breed that is crossed with the Sphinx, which is the hairless cat, together with a Rex. It retained the Sphinx's characteristic triangular head, which looks like a bat, and the tail of a mouse. Its elongated body and also its rustic appearance and very soft fur is very fine but very short. It is a very relaxed, loving little cat, and it has a good connection with children. It is an excellent pet and companion, and they're a great breed to bring into a home where there is another cat or a dog, and they are required to socialize. Cats are more sedentary and tranquil, and even more so when they live alone. It tends to be more comfortable for them to not see another member who wants to enter the household as competition.
Huma, like all cats I have ever had, is absolutely calm, loving. She is great company. When I get home, she wants to be with me all the time. She loves to be carried. No matter where I am in the house, she is always accompanying me. And if I'm not there, there's no problem. She falls asleep. Sometimes I go to a farm for 2 or 3 days, and she stays calm during that time alone, while at the same time she is affectionate and very sociable. They are also very independent and very calm, so that's what makes cats a great pet. Huma is very sociable. She loves to receive visitors, rummage in a bag. She interacts with everyone. She's very peaceful, and she's a cat who is not afraid. She's not afraid of people. She never misses a chance to run away, to explore, through every open door in the house. She's fascinated to leave and explore. She's not afraid. She's a cat that exudes peace, and to see her is very reassuring because she is always tuned into life. She is different from us. Animals do not carry stress or a head full of worry or an active mind all the time. I look at her and she helps me relax. He and I have a strong connection, and he realizes when I am sad. And he comes to my side and places his paw on me. And until I'm better, he doesn't leave. He knows me very well, and he knows when I need company, and it is unconditional. They have a very well-developed sense of hearing. So, for example, when I get home every day in the garage and I get out of the car and he begins to meow, he feels me. I don't know if it is because of my smell or because he hears me that he starts meowing. Cats always feel more connected with the female voice. Sharp sounds are much more pleasant for them, and it makes them more alert. On the other hand, cats cats prefer physical contact with men because they are a bit rougher when grooming the animal. It is well known that a cat's vision is more developed than many other mammals. They see things 5 to 6 times larger than the human eye can see. Their sense of smell is quite developed, but here the dog still takes first place. A cat can identify odors about 100 meters away. Their whiskers, technically known as vibrissae, work like a natural GPS. They perceive certain frequencies in the air that help them locate what is around them with a minimal margin of error. Their tail, as mentioned before, helps them steer their falls into a comfortable landing. Their claws are retractable. When a cat catches its prey, they hold on to it with their claws that contract to the point of being impossible to free oneself from them. Cats.
The Persian breed is one of the oldest breeds. They originated in Great Britain. They are medium to large-sized cats, characterized by their flat face, draws a lot of attention. Their hair is long, and they are one of the cats with the most requirements regarding grooming and cleaning. They can easily grow fungus on the skin when they don't adequately dry after a bath.
Y uno de los gatos con más requerimientos en cuestión de grooming o en cuestión de limpieza, debido pues a que se pueden generar fácilmente honguitos en la piel cuando después de un baño no se hace un adecuado secado. También pues
It's also necessary to clear the hair in certain areas, such as clearing their footpads so the cat can walk more easily, and rounding out the ears to give better definition to their face. Besides this, you also have to trim their claws and continuously comb their hair, which tangles easily.
y mantenerlo peinando constantemente, ya que se puede enredar fácilmente.
Usually, cats have periods of play that can last between 5 and 10 minutes. After this time, they rest and then become active again. It's very difficult to see a cat play continuously for more than 10 minutes. This behavior is very random, and not all cats show this. I am surprised by the tranquility of cats. I was recently traveling for a month and a half. I left her in the company of my son and my son's father, who lives in another house, somewhere she'd never been before. There were dogs there, yet she was still at ease. Knowing that she had never been with a dog in her life, she socialized perfectly with an adult dog and with a puppy. I was surprised by her calmness. Her personality is so very special. Although cats are sociable pets, they don't have any problem with being alone. It is simply necessary to maintain the minimum requirements, such as shelter, food, and sanitary zones. It is indispensable to keep the litter box where they can relieve themselves completely clean, as cats are extremely clean. We should have high places where the cat can retreat and observe all of their surroundings. With good socialization, cats can live in groups and, in the majority of cases when they are together in a mix of breeds, each with a different temperament, they aren't going to cause any problems if they are socialized from the beginning. We see that tranquil animals can live together.
Also, resting places can be highlighted here, noting the tranquility and serenity in which, so to speak, cats like to unplug and relax. But remember that even if you see that a cat is asleep, the cat will always be alert with their senses activated. The Thai Siamese is one of the oldest breeds because nowadays you see a more modern Siamese. They have different characteristics, such as finer ears. There are areas on the hair that are darker, such as those in the edges of the body. In these areas, the Siamese has darker fur. Their temperament is very quiet. It's also a very elegant, medium-sized cat, very territorial. This exotic cat is a breed that originated in the United States. It's a cross between a Persian and an American Shorthair. One of the major problems with the Persian is taking care of their 3 layers of fur. And in the exotic, you can see that the coat is not as long and difficult to deal with, but one can see a flattened face that looks very Persian. They come in a variety of colors, so sometimes people get very fixated on the orange color to describe Garfield, but it doesn't have to have the owl face that it has, which would make it an exotic.
Cats. Today, the cat has become very popular as a companion pet. In most homes, it is common to find a feline of this type. The important thing now is to highlight and remember the care that they need. Mixed breed cats, which are very common in our society, are going to live a little longer than pure breeds, since the latter may develop genetic problems that reduce their longevity. Mixed breeds are born in a hostile environment in which they have to fight for survival. They have to be more resistant, and they don't need such high standards in terms of care as a pure breed does.
Regarding the pure breeds, everything tends to be more resilient, but they have nutritional requirements as high as other breeds. We do emphasize the need to sterilize this breed of cat, as they can also become a vector for disease when they become feral and control a large geographic area. Here we can see that they stimulate their nails, and at the same time they are marking their territory, since they are leaving pheromones on this type of surface, which help to identify them as owners of this space. A house is enough space for a cat. What you should keep in mind are the areas that a cat needs. Sanitary areas where they have their litter box. You have to keep this area very clean so that they can relieve themselves there. And it has to be separate from where their food is provided because of the smells. Smells help them to identify the area they eat in from the area where they relieve themselves. They also need rest areas. Preferably, don't let them sleep on the bedrooms, because if a cat sleeps one day in your bed now, that is going to become their bed forever. It's very difficult to retrain a cat, and it has to be done with food and games. So we have also talked about the rest areas, and also what worries the public is the stimulation that cats do by scratching their nails. So you need scratch pads, because otherwise the furniture can end up becoming the cat's scratch pad. That is why it's recommended that before you bring a cat home, you get to know a little about them, so you can prepare the areas or zones that they need when they arrive in your house, so they can have a full life with you as their pet.
She wins the hearts of people. It's a breed that receives a lot of attention. Everyone sees it as a very strange. Once a man came here, a plumber, to do some work, and when he saw her, he said, "What is that? Is that an animal? Why is it so strange? Is that a cat?" And he took a photo and thought she looked ugly. But at the same time, he was fascinated. She caught his attention. So it is a cat that does not go unnoticed. Nowadays, when parents are always outside of the home, working all day, having a traditional pet like a dog, for example, can be very difficult. Cats are an excellent alternative because they don't demand lots of time and care, because they're independent and autonomous. And At the same time, with increasingly smaller families with fewer children, pets become like children. And at the same time, with smaller families with fewer children, pets become companions to these children. And now, as I've said, it is an opportunity for kids to be sensitized to animals and to nature, even to relate to very important emotions like love, loss, illness, the death of your pet. It is important that children learn to know all of these feelings related to having a pet. Everything that a cat or dog does is also a reflection of the owner. So a pet also forces their owner to look at themselves. My cat is disobedient. My dog is aggressive. Why is that? What am I doing? What has been happening with me that my pet is reflecting this? Then, also, it is a chance for one to grow as a pet owner. For me, Mandela represents unconditional love. He's there always. Always has been there in spite of everything. Even though when the children arrived, he got bumped to last place. Even though my priorities were different, he is always there. Still there for me. For me, it means unconditional love. Without a doubt, cats are great pets that can come to be considered the most important figure in a person's life. Their insight makes them an enigmatic animal, loved, hated, revered, and even feared. But above all, the love and company that they provide is incalculable. A long time ago in the countryside, people always had a cat in the house. Today in cities, apparently, the same is happening again. Pets mesmerize human beings and transform their everyday lives into something more pleasant.